like I could feel my insides moving, like when I would move to the side. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have been gone for a little hot minute. I have not made a video since last year in December when I had my surgery. So thank you all for who wished me well, who prayed for me during that surgery, and all that have wanted to know updates. Forgive me for not putting an update out. Life has kind of just been going along, and I have not updated you all on a lot of stuff that has happened. What are we in April now? So I have not told you a lot of things that have happened. So I'm actually gonna do like a part 1, 2, and 3 of my life update. This will be part 1, which I will talk about the fibroids and stuff like that, and like my recovery from having the surgery. So yeah, if you have not already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell, and yeah, so let's get into it. So okay, so the last time, like I said, you talked to me, I was probably a few days out of surgery. That first week was very tough for me. It was very tough. Because for one, I couldn't do a lot of things on my own, even though I wanted to, but it was doctor's orders to not like be lifting anything heavy, to not be doing a lot of walking. So I did stay in the hospital for, I think it was 4 days. So I came home on the 5th day, and I live like an hour away from where I had the surgery. So the car ride was not really that bad, you know, because like I really laid back in the seat to get home, and I had a pillow on top of my stomach, like if we hit any bumps or anything. But I knew I couldn't stay in the car longer than an hour because I started to get nauseous. But it wasn't like that bad like the whole way. But yeah, so mind you, I live on the 3rd floor, so we don't have elevators here. So I had to walk up the steps, which wasn't bad either, but I knew I couldn't do more than that. So getting home was okay. I just knew that I couldn't do a lot of things. But so getting home and that first week home was pretty tough for me, because while I was in the hospital, like my back was killing me. Like, I don't know if it was the hospital bed or what, or maybe how I was laying during surgery. I don't know, but my back was through, okay? And because I had staples in the front of me, I couldn't lay on my stomach. It was kind of hard to lay on my side. It literally felt like I could feel my insides moving. Like when I would move to the side, like to the right side or the left side, it felt like my insides were like just flipping over like that. So it was kind of uncomfortable and weird feeling to lay on my side for a while, because you know the staples and stuff would pull. So it was very uncomfortable for me to sleep for, you know, on different sides or whatever. So that was one thing. And then like I said, my back was hurting, so that was another thing. So and also like eating or whatever, like I was still eating very light. I wasn't eating any like real super solid foods. I ate like grits in the mornings, and then I had made my boyfriend had made a vegetable soup for me. Thank you, babe, for making that. But he made a vegetable soup for me for when, you know, I came home. So I was mainly eating like grits and soup, and still having broth here and there. You know, so that was like the first week, and I was still taking steps or whatever, because the doctor, he did want me to keep taking steps so that, you know, my body could get used to being able to really walk again. So around the house and the apartment, I would take steps daily, you know, to, you know, get my body back in the momentum of, you know, going and everything. But it was very light steps. And also sitting up for a long time wasn't the most comfortable thing for me. So, you know, I had to sit up sometimes, you know, just because of doctor's orders, but then I would have to lay back down. So, you know, that was like the first week. It was just a lot of tiredness, a lot of just laying around, you know, wanting to sit up when it was uncomfortable, wanting to lay down when it was uncomfortable again. So my mind was like going and coming with handling the situation. Like there were times where I'm like, okay, I got this, you know, and then there were times where I'm like, oh my God, this is never gonna end. You know, I'm never gonna get through this. Mind you, this is only a week, but it felt like a whole year. So going into like that second week of being home, things started to get better. I started to be able to walk more. You know, I was doing a little bit more on my own, you know, still letting Handy do most of like anything where I need to pick up stuff off the floor, or, you know, I was starting to take my own showers by then. Mind you, I did take showers because the doctor did want me to do that, but I was very careful, like not to let like soap or anything really get into the wounds. And then I would let it air dry, and I would pat it and then put my gauze and stuff on that needed to be done after I showered. And I didn't use like any perfume, soaps or anything like that, but my wound healed pretty good to be, you know, to take showers, because I know some people probably feel like you shouldn't take showers, but I had to be clean. But so like I said, going into the second week, I was getting much better. Things were picking up. I was moving more, you know, and I was feeling a bit better. As time went on, you know, I think it was, let me see, how many weeks? I think it was 6. I don't know if it was 6 weeks. No, it was 3 weeks from the surgery date from when I could get the stitches out. I mean, the staples out. So by this time, the second week of being home, we're going on the 3rd week. So like the staples, I started, like my stomach started to feel tight, because, you know, your stomach is going to tighten up. So I started to feel the staples a little bit more, and as I moved and things like that, I was ready to get them out. Like when I would think about it, I was like, oh my God, like this is in me. You know, sometimes it would get to my mind, because looking at it, it already looked weird, like you got all these staples like lined up in your stomach. So I was like ready to get them out. So I was able to get them out on the 3rd week. I went back to the doctor's office. He said it healed pretty good, and they took the staples out, and that was that. The swelling in my stomach, I still had swelling all the way up until probably like that 3rd week of getting the staples out, and then as weeks went on, the swelling did go down and everything, but I was still very careful with doing things, and I couldn't drive for 3 weeks as well. So I didn't really go anywhere anyway. I was mostly in the house. I think I went, like, because it was around the holidays, so it was like a few days before Christmas. One of the girls here did my hair in her salon, Be Captivated Styles. So I'll put her link down here. But so thankful for her. Like, she did my hair, and because it was close by, so I just needed somebody close by to do my hair, because it was looking a hot mess. It was itchy. So yeah, that was like really like the only time I kind of went out a few days before Christmas. And then by Christmas, because I had my surgery on December 15th, Christmas, so this is basically like a 10-day span. This is, I still had my staples in before Christmas. During Christmas. So Christmas, I remember being able to walk and everything, but I did get tired. I did, like, you know how you kind of get up and you just have all this energy, and then you start to like go down throughout the day. So that's how it went for me on Christmas. And that was when I did have my staples in. That was before the full 3 weeks. But yeah, so like after 3 weeks, like I felt like I was pretty good, you know, on the up and up of things. As far as like my hormones and stuff like that, like I feel like they had some adjusting to do, and they still have some adjusting to do. So we are still trying to get those under control. Right before my surgery, I did not continue with my birth control, but I did get back on my birth control like a month after surgery, because when I had my first cycle, it was probably like a month and a half after surgery. I had my first cycle, and it was painful, okay? Mind you, when I had fibroids, I had very painful cycles, but they were to the point where I would have to go to the emergency room and take Toradol shots, and you know, it was very excruciating. So I would say that type of pain was like on a 9-10 scale of 1 to 10. So my cycle after the surgery, I would say it was like a 7, probably like a 7. You know, it was like painful, and I had to be, you know, at home, kind of like laying around type of thing. But it wasn't to the point where I needed to go to the hospital to get a Toradol shot, which I had Toradol here anyway, because they gave me that in the hospital, so I had the pills. But like to this day, we are in April, my cycles are still to the point where they are not the best cycles, and I still have to stay home a little bit, but they're not as bad as they were when I had fibroids. So that was something that was kind of a downer for me, because I was like, okay, I got the surgery, I got fibroid out, this huge thing, like my cycle should be great now. I should be able to still live life and do things while I'm on my cycle, but it's still a point where I have to revolve my life around my cycle, which is kind of a downer, but hey, it is what it is. At least I don't have the fibroids in, and it's not horrible or anything like that, but it's still quite painful, you know. So it is something that I hope gets better, because I did see online, like in forums and stuff like that, that people said that they had the surgery and like their first 2 or 3 cycles were pretty bad. So I'm just praying to God that he heals me from these bad cycles, you know, these painful cycles. Like nobody wants that. Like I remember times when I had cycles and I could work, I could go about, I could do things, and it did not bother me. So in the name of Jesus, that's what I'm trying to get back to, because like it is annoying. Like that's like a few days out of your life every month that you had to plan around this specific thing. Like you kind of have to put everything on hold. And thank God I had the type of jobs that I have that I can do that, because if I had to do that, like working a regular job, I would have to take off all the time and it would probably count against me. But yeah, so like going forward and everything, like I feel like it's been great, but there have been some downers. I have talked to some other girls in my friends group, Tiara Bebb. She has a fibroid foundation where she spreads awareness on her journey with fibroids, and then connects other women who has had fibroids, and I'll make sure to put her link down here below. But yeah, like everybody's story with fibroids is different that I've noticed and talked to. Like you have some that really had no issues, you have some that have, but for the most part, I'm so thankful to still have them out. You know, I'm still dealing with certain things, but not anything that's bad. It's more like hormonal issues that I'm trying to still get under control. And a lot of that does come with diet. I will say that my diet has not been the best since having my fibroids out. I still need to nip that in the bud. So that is something that I need to work on, but because I do not want them to come back in the name of Jesus. They are never coming back, but I also need to do my part and eat better. But yeah, so like that was pretty much my, you know, recovery. I'm still recovering, I feel like, but for the most part, like I can run, jump, all that good stuff, you know, like we are smooth sailing from this point, I feel like. But yeah, so that is my fibroid update. If you have any questions, be sure to comment in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for part 2 of my life update.